Yeah, g'day legends and welcome to another Dodgy Garage 4x4 video. In this video we're back on the Tommy 25 project, the MK Vigero. We're going to be re-indexing the torsion bars and winding them back up. So what we're going to do first though is we're going to measure from just on top of the ring there, and we're going to measure up to the bottom of the guard to give us something to work from. So that's our starting point. So Tommy's going to measure from there to there and we'll see what we get.
360.
Okay, so before we do anything else, I'm just going to get some WD-40 and I'm going to hit those bolts just to free them up a little bit. There's one on this side and one right over the other side. You probably can't see it, it's a bit far away. But so essentially when we re-index the torsion bar, what we do is we actually undo up the other end and we slide this torsion bar back out and we spin the bar around in here, which I'll show you in a minute. It's a spline, and we'll throw it around 2 or 3 teeth on the spline and then we'll throw it back in. So up there you can see that we've pretty much gone up inside that cross member there, so we'd rather be probably sitting down a little bit from there. So so what'll happen is we'll turn this back around, so this will come back down. So that's what re-indexing is, and we'll bring this back down to about here somewhere. So then when we do it back up, we should end up somewhere flush or just below, and that'll give us the lift we're looking for in the torsion bar by re-indexing. That's what we're about to do. It's just a matter of undoing these bolts up here. There's a lock nut here, and there's that nut there, and what we're going to do is we're going to undo that. We're going to undo that all the way out. We're going to drop this piece down that way, and so it's loose. We're going to slide the torsion bar back out of the spline up the front, and then as I say, we're going to spin the torsion bar around and then push it back into the up into the socket up the front, and then we'll do all this back up again. So I just had a few issues here, as you can see. So the previous person who's done these up, they've done them up that bloody tight. See, what we'll do, Tommy, is we'll get another bolt, like we'll get another 8.8 grade bolt, so high tensile bolt. We'll also get a nice thick penny washer to go between the head of the bolt and this little piece here that sits up in this little semicircle, a half moon shape sort of spacer in there. So, and that's because I think they've actually done the head of the bolt up that tight. They've actually created a hole in the spacer there, so where the nut's actually sitting up into. Because as you can see there, there's really only half a head, so the other half sitting up in the in that spacer. Used the bottle jack, and I've jacked up the end there just to get that off because I've had to use a spanner. So once that become loose, I was able just to use my fingers and just screw it off. But now I'm about to let the jack down. This is the dodgy part, so just having all of this tension sitting on this jack here probably is not a great idea, but that's why we dodgy garage, because you know, we'll just do it anyway. So I'm going to let the jack down, and hopefully we'll get that bolt out so we can put that back up. So I've just pulled back the rubber dust cover from the spline and the socket there, and as you can see, I've actually marked a reference point in black texture. So I've got the marker on the socket and on the torsion bar, so that gives me a starting point, so I know how far I've turned when I take it out and come back to spinning around. We've got this piece out now, so this arm is now disconnected from the cross member. We've got the bolt out and absolutely butchered this. This is beyond dodgy, to be honest. So you've got that there, and then you've got this piece there. They've drilled it so far in, they've actually taken out the metal from the actual spacer itself. So not beyond repair, as I say. I can put a nice flat washer on there, like 3 or 4 mil washer will probably do the job, and might be able to do something with that there. We'll just replace the bolt. But yeah, so we've got this piece down now, so it's just a matter now just sliding this forward. We're just going to spin that around, so roughly take a measurement from say here to here. We want to come down to about here somewhere, right, to bring us, because that was way up inside there originally, so we might come down 2 inches maybe. So when, you know, that'll give us enough leverage to get that roughly flush. It won't sit up so far inside. So let's get this torsion bar out and spin it around. So as you can see there, we've gone about 3 teeth, I think, if I count correctly. It's about 3 teeth on the spline there, and I've gone in an anti-clockwise direction. I still hope I've got that right. I haven't confirmed that yet, but now you can see the distance we've got from here to here is probably an extra couple of inches, maybe a little bit more. So if I get that in the right spot, so yeah, so you can see that's dropped down a lot more. Yeah, so using the jack, I've just levered this back up here, and I've just put the bolt back through. So we've thrown a couple of washers in there to space out the head of the bolt and that spacer there. So using the jack, you don't need to use the ratchet gun. You just can do that up finger tight at the top there, and then if you think you've got it about right, you can just do it up hand tight for now. So I'll take this jack out and I'll let the front back down onto the ground, because right now we're right hard up against the top bump stops there. We haven't cut them at all. So I'll drop this back down on its tyres and we'll see what sort of space we've got up here, and then we'll remeasure the guard to the rim and see where we're at in terms of distance. Yeah, so we've done that now. We took a measurement again from here up to here, and we've gained an extra 25mm. The bump stops are actually touching, so they'll have to be trimmed or get some spacers. Like you'll see that I've used spacers on my MK. You can go back and have a look at that video if you like. The top control arm, you can actually just space the ball joints out an extra 25mm. Gives you more space between your bump stops. So realistically, you probably don't have to trim them if you're going to use the spacers, but you can just go ahead and trim them. I've done both to give me twice the amount of droop. But essentially that's it. So we've raised it up another 25mm, and you can see the difference where that was right up inside the cross member. This arm here, you can actually see now it's sitting pretty much horizontal with the cross member itself. That's where I like them to be. So we've just used the washers in there. We've used the same bolt. Essentially, when you do them up, if you use the jack, you don't need to use the ratchet gun. But that's it, job done. So that's how you re-index the torsion bar. So I've put the rubber sleeve back on up the end there. Yeah, job done. So easy peasy. Give it a crack. As I always say, you'll be surprised with what you can do. We're going to do the other side. Yeah, so she's come up a treat. She lifted up 25mm, as I said. She's a little bit higher in the front there. When we get some spaces in there, or the bump stops, we'll trim the bump stops or both, she'll come up looking okay. Keep an eye out for future episodes. I'm going to give this a series on its own. That's it. So that's the start of the Tommy 25 build. Subscribe if you want to see more on what we're doing here. There's lots to do, but it's probably beer time now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you got something out of this video, give it a like to support the channel, or drop in a comment. You know, if you've got any better ideas or you think I've done something wrong. See you in the next one.